Got a question and said, you've done the S9 Plus, bro. You've done this iPhone 7. What about the 8 Plus? Well, we're going to find out, is the iPhone 8 Plus worth it now? Coming up right now, let's go. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 8 Plus now. So happy Sunday. First of all, we're gonna make this one short. I know you guys got things to do. It's a busy weekend, at least if you're in the US, as we're doing some last minute gift wrapping, last minute gift shopping. But some of you might be saying, I'm thinking about picking up that 8 Plus last minute. So 8 Plus no longer comes in this product red. It comes with a $699 price point, which makes it a little bit higher than the XR if you do take advantage of the discounted deal, but you gotta trade in an old iPhone to get that $300 off. Specifically, I think it's a 7 Plus. Okay guys, so key specifications for the 8 Plus include 5.5-inch LCD, we know that. So right now you're getting a rather older technology display when it comes to smartphones, but because it's 1920 by 1080, I still think it's worth it right now. But you have to be okay with the fact that it's LCD and it doesn't give you deep blacks, vibrant colors. On the rear, a 12 megapixel dual camera that doesn't have smart HDR, but it does have really good sensors and takes really good photos, regardless of the fact that it does not feature smart HDR. So this one definitely will still do 4K at 60 frames per second. So this phone has a pretty excellent camera, video camera as well, even though it's not gonna give you smart HDR. So if you're looking for more dynamic range, look at the XR. 3 gigabytes of RAM and the Apple A11 Bionic is why you're still paying, mostly the A11 Bionic, why this phone is still $699. That processor is a beast in the iPhone 8 Plus. So if you're buying this now looking for power and performance, absolute monster under the hood there. I've been very impressed with overall. So the key specs here are definitely still, I think, pretty top notch for $699 and having iOS, which will be updated for years. But there's one aspect that's not top notch about this phone at this current time, and that would be design. I'm sure you guessed it already. If you're into the classic iPhone 6 Plus look, you'll definitely love the 8 Plus. It's a pretty modern version of that glass build on the back, wireless charging. But still, I mean, look at these bezels in 2018. It's very hard to ignore this right now. I mean, it's really, you just can't ignore it anymore if you look at any other phones. However, the white one is even more noticeable. It's not obtrusive in any way. You have a standard 16:9 display, but the design of this phone, pretty thin, but very wide in comparison. A lot of phones now are much narrower, so this phone feels like a little box in your hand. But I actually like that sometimes because it also does rotation like this, making it feel like a mini iPad, which is something not even the iPhone XS Max can do. So if you don't really care about having the latest and greatest design, everything else is still excellent about the iPhone 8 Plus. But don't buy this with the intentions of having the best looking design money can buy. So right now, should you buy the 8 Plus when it comes to the display? Well, let's take a look at this photo. You can see it shows excellent detail. Now this photo was taken at 24 millimeters Canon SL2, aka the 200D. So this was not taken on the iPhone, this photo, but you can see my dog right here. Crispy detail, and everything is very natural on this display. There's nothing that's overly, I'm gonna say, vibrant here, but if you're into that standard, like just crisp, clean LCD look, you're gonna love the 8 Plus. It also has True Tone on here, which gives you a little bit of a yellower look if your eyes don't really like too punchy of a white. And overall, definitely pretty easy to see in sunlight with having an LCD display. It's not nowhere near as bright as something like an LG G7 ThinQ, but this phone definitely has a respectable LCD, and I think many people will get over it. They won't even be thinking about OLED, to be quite honest. So yes, it's a pretty great display, maybe even better than the XRs. That's questionable, but it definitely has a sharper resolution at 401 pixels per inch. So watching video is very nice on here because it's the standard 16:9 aspect ratio, so the content doesn't need to be pinched to zoom. It's the way it came right out of the camera, and it looks great here for this device. So I think video is not bad on here. Dual speakers also give you a pretty good audio experience with this device. In terms of software, this is running iOS 12. It's been running 12 for quite a bit of time now, so getting the latest software if you do buy this phone is guaranteed. Now you might be left behind on some new features that use gestures or anything that is going to take advantage of the newer technology in phones like the XS, XS Max, XR, and even the iPhone 10, but at the same time you're going to get most of the core features going forward. Okay, it's got iOS 12, but what about the performance? Like I mentioned earlier, the Apple A11 and this swiping stuff doesn't even really show it, but video rendering is blistering fast on here. Every application that you do go ahead and open on this phone is just gonna fly open. And it also has 3D touch, which allows you to go into things like a shortcut. So that's pretty awesome to still have that here for the iPhone 8 Plus. Everything is very fast, and any 8 Plus users watching this video is likely gonna comment and say, great phone, awesome speed, haven't had no issue with it, because that's really the truth about the 8 Plus. So battery life. So the iPhone 8 Plus is the iPhone XR of last year when it comes to battery life. This phone had incredible battery life. The XR improves on it, which is crazy because this one never left me with a dead battery throughout the day. And I actually boasted about this quite a bit on the channel, and I still stand by it. And I'm really impressed with the XR improving on this one. If you want to know actual time, I'm right around 6 to 7 hours on screen time, but the thing I gotta tell you is not one day in my entire ownership of any 8 Plus that I've been using, I had the silver one and the red one here. I actually traded the silver one for this one. I have never once died on this phone in the battery life. It's never once let me down. So what about that audio right now? Buying this phone gives you great external speakers. Let's raise it up. One thing that really made me put Samsung at #1 this year was mostly just the price. I think if Apple had their prices a little bit lower, they probably would. As you can see right there, pretty loud speakers here for the 8 Plus. No headphone jack here. What else is new for an Apple iPhone device? You definitely are going to have to use their Bluetooth 5.0 technology to some Bluetooth headphones, which I think most people already have by now, or you can use some AirPods. End of the day, audio won't let you down if you use the external speakers. If you rely on a headphone jack, definitely will, but at least it still comes with a dongle. The newer iPhones didn't even come with a dongle. So when it comes to the phone calls, I don't really have much to say. They've been excellent. It works well, and I think one time somebody said they couldn't hear me, but one time is not enough for me to say this is bad phone call quality. I've had great phone call quality with this phone. Speakers sound good, being that they're dual speakers and they're louder than the 7 Pluses were. So buying this in terms of phone, for a phone, is pretty good. So I don't think you're gonna have too much of an issue there. So that's it. The iPhone 8 Plus now, is it worth it? And it's a pretty tricky one, but if you're the type of person who does like the older design, or you don't really care for the Face ID, you like Touch ID, this can be your excellent option here in the iPhone 8 Plus. You can also find it cheaper than Apple's $699 price point on places like eBay, Swappa, Amazon, typically have refurbished models or cheaper models than this, so you don't have to resort to getting it at Apple. The device itself is just held back by design. That's pretty much it, but some people aren't going to be bothered by that. I think this is also going to be a great phone as the prices decrease and it's just going to be sitting there cheaper than ever. This is going to be one of those older iPhones that when you pick up, it's going to be just an excellent option once the price comes down even more. iPhone 8 Plus sits in the store like, hey, look at me. I'm sitting over here while everybody's not even looking at the 8 Plus. They're over there playing with the Goldilocks iPhone XS and XS Maximus, or they're drooling over the XR's multiple rainbow colors. Let me know your thoughts about the iPhone 8 Plus. This was more of a general overview of the phone, my experience after using it for quite some time. If you want to see a more technical type of review, did that on the channel, link down below, card up here. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Have a great Sunday. I will catch you all next week. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you on the next one, and peace.